In a teaser for an upcoming episode of The Shop, Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron the King James appeased the fans of his former rivals as he revealed that the Warriors are a team that he'd like to play alongside. But on the other side, that comment is making die-hard Lakers fans ponder where LeBron's loyalty truly lies. He's already ditched his home state for the crown of basketball king. Would he also jump ship and abandon the Lakers? Who is actually surprised that LeBron James praises the Golden State Warriors for remaining in the NBA playoffs as a team? That's all fine and dandy actually, that's simply just being honest and showing good sportsmanship. But for the Lakers' king LeBron James to say he'd join them, many have become skittish about LeBron's loyalty, while others have grit their teeth. Is it possible? A Curry and James union? It was seen on headlines after a trailer for an upcoming episode of The Shop aired. James, who faced the Warriors 4 straight times in the NBA Finals as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers, said he would pick Golden State when asked which remaining playoff team he would join. In the trailer for the episode, James was quoted saying, "I would love getting into a match with Draymond Green." The 4-time NBA champion went on to say, "I love when somebody cusses me out." This was said in reference to 32-year-old Draymond Green, who received the second highest number of technical fouls this season with 18, just one less than Atlanta Hawks star Trae Young. As the Warriors faced off against the Boston Celtics in the 2022 NBA Finals, LeBron James' response comes just a few months after a similar comment he made on The Shop, where he also discussed who he would most like to play with on a team. His first answer was mostly unsurprising, and a few moments later, James disclosed that he'd also like to play with Warriors superstar Steph Curry if he were ever given a chance. So now the question remains, how much would he be willing to jump off the Lakers ship and accept a deal that he thinks secures his next championship? In the March episode, LeBron James went on to state, "Steph Curry is the one that I want to play with for sure in today's game. I love everything about that guy." He then exclaimed, "Lethal. Steph, when he get out his car, you better guard him right from the moment he pulls up to the arena. Soon as he gets out of his car, you better guard his ass." When San Francisco radio station 95.7 The Game asked about it in April, Curry politely brushed off the NBA legend's idea by saying he got his wish, while cracking a laugh and reminding the host that he's teamed up with James in the past during NBA All-Star games. Curry then commented, "He was the captain. He picked me the last 2 All-Star games. I don't know if that suffices, but I'm good right now." Whenever you get the interest or curiosity of what it would be like to play with arguably an MVP caliber dude like he is, greatest of all time, cool, that's amazing. We all can live in that fantasy world. So for a quick recap, Curry's Warriors defeated James's Cavaliers in 3 out of their 4 NBA Finals matchups in 2016. The Cavaliers famously came back from a 1-3 deficit to win the NBA title against Curry and his Warriors. Unfortunately, while a team with both James and Curry might be a fun idea for fans, there are few reasons it is unlikely to happen, such as salary caps and the roster construction of their respective teams. While Curry plays modest about teaming up with LeBron the King James, others have espoused their strong desire to be part of his roster. They can only wish to receive the high praise that LeBron gives Curry, and if they learn that LeBron would be honored to team up with them, they'd probably feel like a school kid meeting their favorite sports idol of all time. One person in that category who feels that way is Anthony Davis. All must admit, the Los Angeles Lakers have seen better days. The once iconic and night unbeatable team has been mired with issues and have had 2 disappointing seasons after one that they won with an asterisk after it. But without losing faith, Anthony Davis believes that pairing with LeBron James is very much the core of a championship team. Unfortunately, the Lakers had a disastrous season. The Los Angeles Lakers have had a terrible couple of years. There is even a leaked video of their own announcer, Stu Lance, getting caught on a hot mic and rhetorically asking the Phoenix Suns to, quote, "put the Lakers out of their misery," prior to a game in mid-April. The embarrassment aside shined a glaring beam on the situation surrounding the Lakers and their disastrous campaigns over the last 2 years. And their contract with Russell Westbrook was also a big letdown. Although the LA Lakers managed to win the title back in 2020, that championship came with an asterisk. As we all know, the 2020 season was hardly what you could call a normal season, with the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus and resulting governmental responses wreaking havoc across the entirety of the sporting world. Still, LA did win the championship that year, but most people agree that it's just as likely they would not have if it had been a normal season. You wouldn't believe just how much the fans' perception of the team has not been helped by the actions of LeBron James on social media. The man just cannot stay quiet, spouting political nonsense in interviews and acting like someone who can barely manage getting out of bed in the morning without bursting into tears about some current event or the other. It's not really any wonder that his time on the court has gone downhill so much. So it's no wonder that he's teasing working with Curry and Draymond Green, and as so many fans say, he should just shut up and dribble. But he can't. LeBron, the king of basketball, seems to have a one-track mind that neglects loyalty to a team. He's already been known to attempt to rig a starting lineup just to get that ring and rejoice at Michael Air Jordan's status. But James's teammate Anthony Davis says that the two of them can still be the core of a title team moving forward, even though they have had nothing but disappointment in the last 2 seasons. Davis spoke to the media conducting a season wrap conference before the final game of the season, and there he was able to address concerns about his and LeBron's partnership, saying, "I think us two can. We've shown that we can. I don't know, that's something we just have to reevaluate in the offseason. Upstairs, me and him talking about this season and what we would like to see next season and kind of just figure it out." He continued by saying, "We will come together as a group to get back to championship mentality that we had our first year." So that would be a very interesting conversation just from the standpoint of what changed. I mean, injuries, but even when we were healthy, I don't think we were able to reach our full potential, for whatever reason. So I think we want to figure it out and just get back to that championship pedigree that us as players know that we are capable of. Unfortunately, Davis had a big hindrance. Davis's right midfoot sprain caused a huge problem for the star, and he mentioned that in the offseason. He was forced to undergo an MRI scan on the injury to see if he could come back 100% in the next season. Speaking about it, Davis said his plan was to take however much time off and then coming back and get back after it and get ready for next season. But what happens if his inspiration court partner, the king of basketball, switches to another kingdom? Fans hope that Davis's performance would bounce back better in the 2020-2021 campaign, and even though he actually increased his points, his shooting rate, his rebounds, and his blocks efforts, well, they were all futile. It wasn't enough for Davis alone to be able to turn the Lakers' bad season around. Davis went on to speak more about this problem, saying, "To not log enough minutes together is what hurt us. I still think us being on the floor together where there are only 2 of the 3 can win basketball games. It just didn't happen." Now, LeBron James is entering the final year of his deal with the Lakers and has the option to sign an extension this summer. But in a world where he enters free agency next year and somehow lands with Golden State, that might very well be the most dangerous team ever assembled. But can it actually be pulled off? And how would the Golden State Warriors make room for the king of basketball? So far, it seems that Curry and his crew of Warriors aren't paying much attention to a new addition with LeBron. Do you think a Curry and LeBron James union with the Warriors would be a great fantasy basketball team? Comment down below.